Hello again, guys. I'm back. Today is November 6th, 2017. Welcome to my channel, Alien Society. You guys are probably wondering, who is this person that I have on the screen, right? Well, guys, this is Constance Menger, aka Connie Menger, okay? Known for being married to Howard Menger. She passed away last month, October 7th of this year, of course, 2017. And she passed away of natural causes. Her home was at Vero, Florida, where she'd been there with her husband at the time, Howard Menger, of course, since 1962. They were married for a very long time, over 50 years, guys, okay? And, of course, you guys know her from the big, alien contactee stories, right? Because that's what her and her husband did at the time. During the end, of course, no, she did not continue that because she just decided to move on. She, of course, had people constantly asking her questions about the Highbridge incident, but she just kept on telling people that she no longer is interested in, talking about that anymore because that's the past. And that was, that was a long time ago. It was the 1950s, and she just figured she wanted to move on with her life and decided to do different and newer things, okay? So, she was born August 5th, 1922. Obviously, her and Howard would have been the same age if Howard was also alive. She was 95. Because he was born in February of 1922. So, again, they would have been the same age if they were both alive at the same time. He passed away in 2009, for those of you who don't know. And, of course, we can talk about the Highbridge incident if you guys like, because that was a big thing back then in those times when, of course, Howard Menger started talking about human-looking extraterrestrials that came to his home in the 1950s. Well, it started when he's a little boy at 10, is what he said. That it took place in 1938 or something like that, and a blonde woman came to him and told him about whatever it is going to happen with him and all this other stuff. Of course, you guys know that I do not believe in the story, considering that there are too many researchers that took they investigated into the story of Howard Menger's claims of the 1950s, and they concluded that his stories were a hoax. Not just because of him saying it or because they had something against him, but if you look at all the photographs that he showed everybody, you can see that the photographs were doctored photographs. Also, from the detailed information from people who actually went to observe the Howard Menger home, where, they were having a conference, they basically realized that Howard Menger was talking about, showing these extraterrestrial, human-looking extraterrestrial from the planet of Venus at the time, to the people. But if you realized that he never once, there was no one person who was a witness, of course, never ever have they seen any of these so-called beings up close. None of them. It was always like 100 yards away or, to that effect. It was never up close where they can really touch the individual up close and shake their hand and say, hey, how you doing? I'm from planet Earth. So, basically, guys, that's what it is. Okay, that's something that's a powerful thing. You guys did hear me talk about this story before because, of course, this story kind of ties with the Frank Ernest Strange's story that Frank created, which is the Valiant Thor story, which he claimed that Howard Menger was talking about Valiant Thor when, of course, that was not the case at all. That never was the case at all. Because if Howard Menger was so concerned about this so-called Valiant Thor, who was supposed to be some ambassador of Venus slash captain of a starship called the Victor 1, okay? then you would see that that contradicts everything. But of course, we're not gonna get into the Valiant Thor story because I've already covered it, and I told you guys everything that I had to tell you with all the proof that I've gotten, and I stand by every single detailed information that I've gotten. So the Howard Menger story is more of a George Adamski borrowing type of story. Okay, because when you look at the photographs, you can see that Howard Menger took photographs, but you can see that these photographs are doctored. You see these light beings, supposedly, and then you also see some other pictures where you see these spaceships, but it looks with the luminous painting on it, okay? And that's basically what it seems. So, just as you guys can see, that's the photograph you can see. But there's plenty of them, guys. There's plenty of them. And you can see. And then at one instance, he said that the being took out a light and disappeared or what have you. And that's just to show you guys how it was easy, okay, to put people in the belief mode in the 1950s. Because it was a big deal back then. This UFO alien craze. All right, ever since this 1947 so-called crash, UFO crash, that's when all this began, okay? Now, many of you already know what I feel about this crash of Roswell of 1947. I personally do not believe that an extraterrestrial advanced race, you know, because that is how we identify them, right? We identify them as being advanced, like people with higher IQs than any normal human would have, okay? So, it doesn't make sense that an extraterrestrial is going to accidentally crash into this planet. That's just not something that makes sense to me, okay? Now, of course, there's rumors about bodies were taken from this crash, and they were little creatures or whatever, but I wasn't there, so I don't know if 100% whether that was real or not. It could have definitely been these, a testing, if you will, guys, okay? Because just like I told you guys before, like Howard Menger, you can see it on YouTube how he's showing you this UFO drone that he made. Now, I'm calling it a drone simply because he created it in 1950, all right? 1951. So just imagine from that point on, he had plenty of them, okay? He was able to fly them around, and that's how people concluded, too, that during the witnesses that went to his home as observers, okay, they would see lights in the sky, these little, UFOs, but never up close. It was like from a distance. And these were actually Howard Menger's drones that had colorful lights on it. Of course, remember, guys, he wanted the people to believe in that story. So he had to create something to grab your attention. Okay? So, a lot of people keep forgetting that that's what he did in the time where he created these. And he's actually showing you these drones. All right, and you can see it is on a YouTube channel. You can see that he's standing in front of this big drone that he made, and he's actually telling you that he flew it all the way to some other state. Okay, and they came back because the parts were, of course, they traced the parts back to him, to his store. Okay, to his business. So that's telling you right there, guys. If he was able to do that at that particular time, why wouldn't he do that at his home? But remember, he had his brother, okay? He also had his father to help him along with this whole, entertainment scene. Because while people are looking at Howard Menger, okay, while he's there entertaining the guests and showing them the colors of the sky of these UFOs, you got his father in the background hiding somewhere, or his brother, actually controlling that UFO in the sky, the drone. But of course, many people are going to not believe this because it's always a conspiracy. Whenever you're talking about aliens and UFOs and stuff like that, it's always a conspiracy. Now, of course, let me verify again that it's no longer known as unidentified flying objects. Now they're called unexplained aerial phenomenon. Okay? In case of many of you, if you do not know that, the name has changed. I don't know why, but I guess maybe it makes more sense when they call it unexplained aerial phenomenon. Now, once again, I can just sit here and tell you guys that these so-called aerial phenomenon that couldn't be explained are Earth flying saucers, okay? Because people keep forgetting that Germany was the ones who first started making these Earth-based UFOs, okay? Flying saucers. And people were surprised. And they were wondering where did they get this technology from. You know, they were able to somewhat mimic something. Or they got this from somebody who gave them that idea to create these UFOs, right? Flying saucers. So, it was made. But just remember, after the World War II was done, all the scientists from Germany were brought to America. So now you can imagine every single aircraft that we don't even know about as, you know, civilians, citizens of the United States. Because, of course, there are technologies that we are not familiar with yet, considering that our own government have certain projects that they basically taking care of, you know, it's almost like taking a step ahead. Like I told you, it's more like a challenge, guys, when you don't want certain individuals to know exactly what we have. Why show your hand, you know? I mean, yeah, it's kind of wrong in some ways if you want to look at it that way. But you have to understand, guys, that if America wants to keep an edge or a step ahead of everyone else in the world, then we're not going to show the technology, obviously, that we have. I mean, it doesn't make sense. Maybe they can show part of it, but they can't show all of it. That would be wrong, right? Because other countries are going to want the same thing that we have. But then again, guys, listen, it's all a competition. Like I said, it's a world competition. And so, going back to Howard Menger's story, okay, it's more like he borrowed ideas from the George Adamski story. And of course, many of you know that George Adamski was one of the main biggest celebrity over all contactees, okay? Because of course everyone believed him at that particular time. There's still people to this very day who still believes that George Adamski was telling the truth, regardless of what we said or what investigators have said, right? There's people still out there that believe in the Howard Menger story, regardless of what the pictures show, regardless of what the witnesses saw. Now, all the witnesses will be talking about seeing from distance. None of the witnesses have said that they were up close and personal with any of the beings that Howard Menger claimed to have contact with. Now, again, people can choose to believe that they like or not. But this is time for us to separate fact from fiction, guys. And that's what I'm doing on my channel. That's what my channel is about. My channel is about real stories that we can validate their claims and be like, okay, this person is completely 100% sincere. Okay? And that's why I made this channel, because this channel is basically about that. Okay? Now of course there's negative drawbacks from all this stuff, because when you show people that certain stories are not validated, they get upset, or they start saying you're probably with the government as a disinformation agent. You're just there to derail these people because you know they were telling the truth. And you see, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, guys. I believe in the reality of fact and fiction. We can't stay stuck on this everything's a conspiracy thing. I mean, yeah, there's some things that we can constantly question, such as what are these trails on the sky, right? Trails, some people say. Some people say chemical trails. I'm just making examples of what I'm talking about. How people would just assume that that happens to be some chemicals that the government is throwing in the sky to change somehow our health. Is that true or not? I have no idea, guys. I'm just basically, just pinpointing exactly, just telling you guys certain things of what I believe. If it is something that's real, I'm hoping that someone can really come up and show us their claim, That's what I'm looking forward to, guys. I'm looking for someone who can just do away with all this just saying and showing us, so that all of us who are the seekers, we can then say, you know what? I'm backing that person up. Because they're telling the truth. And how we would know that? Simple, guys. By them showing us solid evidence that their experience was real. Now, of course, we can also say that these people were perhaps part of an experiment that we are not familiar with. Now, of course, people are going to say conspiracy theorists, right? Because that's what people always think about. It could be what? Because people keep talking about these Nordic-looking, human-looking extraterrestrials in these flying saucers. Now, that's not the first time we hear, well, many of you probably, yes, but some of us have heard. A lot of people always refer to these beings as human-looking, blonde-headed, blue eyes, advanced beings. That's basically what we always hear. Now, just imagine if that's what's actually going on. That we have these specific, a secret society, if you will, of these types of people that only have blonde hair and blue eyes or green eyes and are able to fly these saucers and make you believe that they're not from Earth. They can possibly be here from this planet right here. Now, please understand, I'm not saying that extraterrestrials do not exist. You know that many times I say in my videos that I am a believer. I do believe that we're not alone. Because look at this universe, guys, okay? Now, if anyone said that this universe doesn't have any life, they're lying. Even for the skeptics, that, the diehard skeptics that are always constantly talking negative about every single thing, okay? That they're not open-minded because they figured, okay, we are just some cosmic mistake. No, we're not a cosmic mistake. Obviously, if we're here, someone made us, okay? And if someone made us, just imagine who else they made in this big universe. There's other planets out there, and we all know this. You guys hear me say this all the time. But going back to the Howard Menger story, guys, again, the story was a believable story, just like George Adamski's story, just like any other stories of the past. But never was any solid evidence presented when these stories were brought forward. Okay? Now, once again, I did say myself that if this such experience happened to me, let's just say at my age now, 43, okay? I would tell you guys regardless. Now, I would try my best, okay? If I was a alien contactee, I would be direct and try to ask them to give me some sort of a proof that can validate my claim to the humanity, to show humanity that they're here for us, to help us. But yet all we hear is people giving us these stories of their claimed experiences with these extraterrestrials, but yet they don't have any proof. They don't show no type of proof, guys. That's all I'm trying to do here. I'm trying to bring you guys the truth. That's all I'm about. That's what this channel is about. Bringing forward strong evidence so people can stop doubting. Just because you're looking in the sky and you can identify, we're looking in the sky and we see a flying ship and it goes fast. Now, again, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's not from this world. It just means that we haven't been told about it because it's not for us to know. Our government of the United States and any governments of the world, okay, they're not going to tell their civilians their technology of what they're working on. Why should they do that? Because if they do that, then the media will be on it. Now, if the media put it on and show it on national television, then other countries can see that throughout the world. Okay? And that's something that we don't want. So, all I can say, guys, if you like this video, hit the subscribe button. If you're interested, you're new to this channel, hit the subscribe button. If you like this video, hit a like. If you like, it's okay. I constantly tell people if you dislike this video, that's fine. You're helping me grow at the same time. But all I can say, guys, is I approach all these things with an open mind. Okay? That's what I do. I come into these things with an open mind. I don't just judge. My thing is, if the story has something solid, okay, to hold it up, basically like Atlas holding up the world, and he's supposed to be the, in Greek mythology, of course, Atlas is the one holding the world. So for me, it's more like if the person has a solid evidence that they can show us of their claim, then I can say, you know what? These people are, telling the truth. It's only based on the solid evidence. But when there is no solid evidence, I can't sit here and make a video and tell you guys that it was real. If it's no evidence, I can't tell you that it was real. Okay? Now, you got to understand that Howard Menger was not the only story that we heard about. There's other stories that we heard about. All right? Plenty of stories out there. The thing that we're looking for is facts, solid evidence, so people can stop doubting. Okay? Now, again, there's many people that made fame with this roller coaster of the alien UFO phenomenon. Like I told you guys. All right? Many of these people, what do? They hop on that roller coaster, woo, and get it going. Even to this very day, you got these researchers that keep telling you that they made research and research and research, and that's good, of course, yes. But when they're promoting these old stories as fact, then they become part of an elaborate hoax. Okay? When you see these people just promoting their books, now I'm talking about the ones that keep talking about aliens and abductions and of that sort. Okay? It's always about writing that one book or more books because you are going to buy it. Now for me, once again, if the story was real and had solid evidence, then sure, that book was well deserved to be written because you guys have seen the solid evidence. Or the lecture, because of course these people continue to promote another lecture. Okay? But it's always about you coming out your pocket to go to see these acclaimed ufologist researchers, okay, to hear the same thing we already know about. Now, I'm not trying to offend anyone. I'm just really telling the truth, guys. Okay? I'm not going to sit here and lie to you guys. I'm going to sit here and give you the truth of what I believe based on my research. As you guys already know, I'm not promoting any books. I'm not promoting any lectures. If you want to call this a lecture, you can, but it's free. I'm giving it to you guys for free on YouTube. I don't gain anything from this. You know, nor do I seek it. I'm just basically showing you guys that, you know, people can give us these stories all day and just make a living off of it. And that's not something that we're looking forward to, okay? We're looking forward to people that come forward, that make these claims, and show us solid evidence that their claims were real. That's all it is, guys. That's all I'm saying. It doesn't matter whether it was Howard Menger. It doesn't matter whether it was Frank Ernest Strangis. It doesn't matter whether it was George Adamski. It doesn't matter, guys. It really doesn't. Because none of these people came forward with actual solid evidence. None. None. And that's what picks apart these stories of those claims. I have yet to hear of someone who has solid evidence. That's why I keep asking you guys for your help. If you know of a story of someone out there that had an alien abduction or that contacts alien extraterrestrial today, tell me about that person. I would like to talk to that person because I would like to know whether they have solid evidence to show us, okay, about their experience being real. Now, I see people, you know, making videos about channeling Valiant Thor or channeling extraterrestrials. Like, please, guys, stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Okay? Because we all know that the majority of these so-called mediums are not real either. Okay? You can consider them leeches because that's what they do. They lie just to make a living off of you guys out there. Because that's basically what they're doing. I've mentioned this in my videos also, guys, when you guys always hear me say that. Even though this channel is solemnly based on, you know, extraterrestrial life and alien contacts or alien abductions, I still talk about the so-called, the psychic world. Because that kind of, it's almost similar, only it varies. Just like magicians in a way, you know. They're trying to entertain you. And that's what they do. They make you believe that what they're doing is real. It's not real. Okay? It's just help from a bunch of people in the background. And that help them perform these magic acts. So we can be amazed. Okay? So when we see these top-notch magicians of the world, I'm not going to name them. You guys know who they are. Sure, it looks great. And I'm not judging. I'm just saying I like the action. I like all of that. The entertainment is great, guys. However, magic is not real if you want to look at it in that sense, okay? When you see disappearing elephants and cars and all that, it's not real, guys. It's all behind the scenes gimmicks, props. That's the way they get your attention. That's the way they get you to come back again and pay for another entertainment session. Okay? It might not be the same show, but it could be a different show the next time. One that you're going to like yet again because you liked what you saw, so you'll come back again for more. And that's what all these people do, guys. Even mediums, that's exactly what they do. The same thing. Now, I'm sure you guys remember the shows. There were TV shows, but at the same time, these shows were being edited. You know why. You know why. So yeah, guys, again, if you like this video, hit the like button. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe. I subscribe to all those who subscribe to me. Because basically that's what I do, you know. I subscribe to all who subscribe to me. If anyone have questions, I don't mind answering those questions. I'm hoping to soon do a live video. And of course, like I said, guys, I got to work on that because I'm not that great on it, you know. So I'm going to try my best. As soon as I do a live, I will let you guys know, obviously, that I'm going to do a live video. But okay, guys, I'm going to close here. And like I said, if you like my channel, Alien Society, subscribe. Subscribe. If you have any stories that you'd like to tell me about, feel free on the comment section below. I'll be more than willing to answer your questions. So with that, I say goodbye, guys, and peace. Have a good day, guys. On to the next video.